It's called the Hollywood of the South, or Yollywood. In 2018, the state of Georgia lured $2.7 billion worth of film and television production because of its tax breaks, state-of-the-art sound stages, and mild weather. But since Georgia's governor signed the state's controversial fetal heartbeat bill into law, a number of major industry players have said they will no longer consider Georgia a viable location. Here to help us understand the potential impact of the boycott is entertainment journalist Christy Zarilla. Hi, Christy. It's nice to see you.
Hello. Good to be here.
First of all, remind people why it became the Hollywood of the South, how these tax credits work.
Well, these tax credits came in when Georgia's economy was doing poorly, and they were very aggressive with them. They are pretty much the most liberal in the country, around 30%, and it applies to everybody in the production.
And they have high-skilled labor, right?
They do. It's almost like Hollywood has relocated. Georgia is the third biggest production location in the United States, behind California and New York.
And so studios have long taken advantage of this since it's been available. But once the fetal heart bill law was signed, people started taking a step back. Explain the law.
Well, the law prohibits abortions once a fetal heartbeat that can be detected, and that sometimes as early as 6 weeks, which is often before a woman knows she's pregnant. Georgia does have exceptions for rape, incest, and the health of the mother, but it's still a very, very small window at the beginning of a pregnancy.
Well, once Governor Brian Kemp signed the law, a lot of productions, particularly female-run productions, right, stepped up and said, we're done, we're out, we can't shoot there, right?
Yes.
Tell us some of those names. Kristen Wiig was one, I think.
Kristen Wiig Comedy was set up to location scout there. They've pulled out an Amazon series that's based on a feminist book. They have pulled out again. They were in pre-production. As far as films that are in production, no one has actually pulled out because the law, were it to go into effect, wouldn't go into effect until January 1st, 2020. So we still have a little time period here where the studios are watching what's going on.
Well, in addition to all of the actors and production houses that said, okay, we're out immediately, a little bit of time passed, a few days, and then finally Ted Sarandos from Netflix said, okay, we're out too. We can't do it. And then Bob Iger, right in the midst of all of this Star Wars Galaxy's Edge publicity, right?
He's been very high profile.
Very high profile because of that, stepped up last week and said, you know what, it's going to be very difficult to continue. Explain his justification.
Well, Iger's point is that many of the people who are working on the projects feel very, very strongly about this legislation and don't feel like they can work in Georgia anymore. And so he's kind of doing this out of respect for his employees, who overwhelmingly support the pro-choice side.
It's a big cost to Disney, you know, because they have created their whole Marvel universe in Georgia.
Avengers Endgame, Black Panther filmed there. Netflix has some big stuff too. They've got Ozark, Haunting of Hill House, which caught on last year. And then, of course, The Walking Dead has been filming there for 10 years now.
Oh, that's right. And the people who work these shows, you know, they estimate almost 100,000 jobs for people in Georgia.
Right.
Doing every type of job, right?
Well, whether you're an extra or you're a caterer, makeup, anything like that. You know, a lot of people from Hollywood have relocated to Georgia so that they can work locally.
It's also like really lit a fire under local economies. I know restaurants, you know, Georgia is a real foodie town, or Atlanta's are very much a foodie town now. And one of the reasons is there's so much disposable income with all those people who are working in the film industry.
For people who have relocated for this work, if this work disappears, they're going to move where the work is. They're going to move again.
Former gubernatorial candidate in Georgia, Stacey Abrams, actually came out and said, don't pull out. Please don't.
Yes.
Yeah, because you can do more good by staying. And in fact, a couple of people, J.J. Abrams and
Yes.
Jordan Peele, said, okay, we're not going to leave. Instead, we're going to contribute to pro-choice causes?
Yes, and it's not just Abrams and Peele. Ron Howard and Brian Grazer have a project coming up, and they're saying we're going to stay in Georgia, and we are going to watch the courts. We're going to help fight this in the courts.
If, in fact, the law does go into effect,
Yes.
Do you have any doubt that these people will be good and true to their word, that they will pull out?
Given the political sentiment in Hollywood in general, which is liberal, no two ways about it, I don't see how they couldn't. I do think they would find another place to go, and whether that is back to Los Angeles or Vancouver.
Or some other state, like New York. Christy, thanks so much for
My
coming
pleasure.
in and explaining it all. According to the Georgia Department of Economic Development, there are currently 38 projects in production in the state, and we will be sure to keep you updated on this story as it develops.